You ever think of yourself as being someone who's been trained to think and behave and respond in the ways that you do? If you have an ongoing relationship with a narcissist, and I hate to use that word relationship because that's a really rich word and it's not really a relationship. But anyway, if you are engaging with a narcissist in an ongoing way, they're trying to train you to be a certain way. They're trying to train you to meet their needs in a particular kind of fashion. Let's understand that a defining feature of narcissism is manipulation. They're out there trying to manipulate you in whatever way they can so that they can maintain the control position and feed that self-absorbed ego that they bring to the equation. And basically, they approach you with the thought that says, I have my needs and it's your job to comply with me. And they don't have a real strong sense of reciprocity. They may at times let you think or feel that they're willing to compromise with you or concede or go with the flow with you. But ultimately, what they do with you tends to be little more than a manipulative ploy. Now, I know it can sound rather cynical to say that that's the way they are, but that's part of narcissism. They lack that empathy, and there's this all about me kind of mentality. And as a result, these are individuals that are highly predictable. They're very codependent. They would never say that to save their life, but when I say codependently, their mood is directly tied to what you give them, and they want you to play your role so that they can go away feeling okay and superior and all the rest. Now, as long as they have this kind of manipulative mindset toward you, there are certain predictable tactics that they tend to use to keep you in line and to keep you giving them the supply that they need. So let's go through 8 of what I would consider to be some of the most common tactics they use. It's not an exhaustive list, but at least it can give you an idea of how this could work. For example, number 1 is they try to manipulate you into their schemes. They can use the buddy tactic. It's like, you and I, let's be pals. And I want to be your friend, and I want to make sure that you know that I think well of you. So they may sometimes do favors for you or pay compliments or seemingly give some concessions and act in a very serving or kind way toward you. But unfortunately, what seems to be good on the surface actually has its hidden agenda behind the surface because it's a ruse. And again, I know it can sound a bit cynical, but in the long run, narcissists are after that control, and the buddy technique can be a part of their way of trying to pull you into their orbit. A second tactic that they can use, and that is they can offer you what I would call intellectual empathy, which is not the same as true empathy in the classic sense of the word. The intellectual empathy may be something like, well, I know that this is very important to you, or I see that this is something that really bothers you, so let's take a look at that. And intellectually, they can say, okay, this is something that I see on the inside of you. But true empathy is wanting to know you from your vantage point so that individual can get in there and experience life with you and have kind of an arm around the shoulder, if you will. Narcissists will use a phony intellectual empathy, and they want you to conclude, wow, what a really nice person. You seem to really know me. And yet it's empty. And sometimes they'll even use what I call empty promises. It's like, well, as long as we understand what's going on, then things are going to be good. A third tactic that narcissists can commonly use is they can go into the now you owe me mentality. Sometimes they can be pleasant and friendly up front. They can seemingly be into you. But then over time, it's like, hey, look, I've tried really hard to be fair with you, and I'm not really feeling a whole lot of cooperation back from you. Come on, we're going to have to get with the program here. And so you've got to show me something good. And so they start calling in their chips, and they want you to think, well, I don't want to be selfish, and I don't want to seem like I'm ungrateful. And in doing so, they're trying to pull you in. That's part of their manipulation. Let's talk about what you owe me. And, after all the nice things I've done for you, surely you can give me something in reverse. Then a fourth tactic they can often use is they'll appeal to both loyalty and then guilt. And when I say loyalty and guilt, it's like, I thought we were going to be on the same team here. And if you want to be on my team, if you want to be connected with me, there's just a certain thing you're going to have to come up with. And, in fact, I'm kind of disappointed in you that you're not grateful and you're not doing the things that I would think somebody in your position would do. And what they're wanting to do is they're wanting to add a certain subjective, emotional kind of response from the inside of you where you think, well, I guess I am obliged. And they want to eliminate logic. And they want to appeal to false emotions, false guilt, for example. Then they can continue on, and a fifth tactic they can use is words of incredulity. It's like, seriously, where did you come up with this, with those kind of ideas that you have? And why are you doing the things that you do? And they can become persuasive and insistent in the way that they reason with you. It's like, you have got to let go of your crazy way of thinking. Maybe I've heard a few too many of those things. I can get caught up in it. But they want you to think that you're just some sort of a gullible person or a non-reasonable kind of an individual. So if they more or less give the impression, I can't even believe that you are the kind of person that you are, then of course what they want you to do is stand down and then come along into their schemes. Sixth, what they can do is they can start going into the invalidation mode. You don't know what you're talking about, do you? Or that's not what I said, or that's not what I meant, or you don't know anything, or you got your facts wrong, or if you do this, then again, you're just going to prove how you just don't know how to do things, do you? And so they'll whittle away at your sense of well-being and your sense of dignity, implying, I used to have a good opinion of you, but I'm beginning to waver now. I don't think there's, you bring a whole lot to the equation, which is why you need me, and that's part of their manipulative scheme. Number 7, then they can start going into the use of threats. It's kind of like, if you don't do what I want you to do, you're gonna pay. This is not going to be good for you. And they may point blank say it out loud, or they may imply it through the use of the silent treatment or stonewalling. It's like, I am so going to make your life miserable if you don't go along with what I want you to do. And then finally, after a while, it's like the awkwardness and the uncomfortable feelings that come along are so strong. And it's like, okay, I'll give in, which is what they're wanting you to do. And then finally, an 8th tactic, and I strongly suspect many of you have been up against this, they can go straight into their anger mode with lots of criticism or harshness or insults, name calling, rages, and things of that nature, where it's like, man, they get so loud and so obnoxious that you don't know what to do. And so they want to be so intimidating and so overbearing that finally it's like, it is not worth it for me to move forward with my preferences. I'll go along to get along. And so the net result of all of these different manipulative tactics is you might stand down. It's like you'll capitulate and you'll comply. And that's what narcissists want you to do. So when they use these kind of tactics, they're trying to train you to say, just drop it and go along with what they want. By the way, I have a book that's called When Pleasing You is Killing Me. And that book is built on the premise here. Ultimately, it's killing me to try to keep you appeased, but that's the way they want to do. That's the dance they want you to get into. And as a result, they're going to hope that you will buy into the notion that says theirs is the only opinion in the room that matters. Just be quiet, go along with what they want you to do. Everything's going to be okay. And then ultimately what they're saying is, it's really not okay for you to be you. But wait a minute. It really is okay for you to be you, regardless of what they proclaim. Not only is it okay, it's reasonable. It's necessary for you to be you. I operate on the assumption that I'm not very good trying to be somebody that I'm not. It's okay. It's reasonable for you to feel as you feel, or to have the distinct interpretations that you have. It's okay for you to act upon your preferences. It's okay to disagree. In fact, sometimes you need to say no, and that can be a necessary kind of thing. It's okay to move into the direction of your own choosing, and it's okay for you to operate without having to give unnecessary defense. It's okay for you to say, I'm sticking with my own plans. Now, if you do so, it's like the narcissist is going back through their training book saying, that response isn't in my training book. And it's right. I'm not someone that I want you to train. I don't need to be trained. I'm willing to be open to input, but I'm no barking seal at the circus that's just going to do what you tell me to do, and then maybe you'll give me a treat. The bottom line is these manipulative, codependent narcissists want to be the superior, and they want you to be in the subordinate position. And so if they want to bring you into that kind of thinking, my response to that is I'm more than happy to be cooperative as long as there's mutual respect and mutual regard. But in the absence of that, we're going to have a very minimal relationship, if any at all. I'm not going to go into this kind of training mode where I have to let go of me in order to keep your codependency intact. Nope, I'm not playing that game. I do hope that you get good insight and awareness from videos such as this. If you've not already done so, I would encourage you to go beneath the video and hit that subscribe button. We also have an email list that will allow you to have special benefits from some of our offerings and extra articles and things like that. So if you'd like to sign up for our email list, I would encourage you to do that. If you have a need for counseling, if you have someone in your area, I would encourage you to seek out the counseling that would help you sift these kinds of things out. And if you don't have that in the immediate area, then we vetted a group that's now our sponsor that can help you with online counseling. We have a link below that will take you to that. We've received good feedback from that. So practice self-care. In addition, I would encourage you to look into my Free to Be workshop. It's all about how to respond to the controllers in your life. We have a link below to that, as well as links to our books and other video workshops and things of that nature. We even have some coffee mugs. Narcissists want to train you. That's part of their manipulative ploy. But the good news is you don't have to be trained. You want to have an inside out kind of mindset that says, I'm going to consult my own good ideas of who I'm going to be. I'm always open to input. But at the end of the day, I need to be true to my real self. And that being the case, I'm hoping that you can live with a sense of steadiness and confidence, and that will allow you to claim your place of peace.